Whenever you get that sick little feeling that a woman is pulling away, you're probably right. Her texts are getting shorter, she's taking longer to respond, and the energy just feels different. You start spiraling, you reread old texts, you check her Instagram, you wonder if you said something wrong, if there's another guy. The more you think, the worse your ideas get. Now, the good news. A woman pulling away does not automatically mean that it's over, but it does mean you are at a critical moment. How you handle this moment will usually decide whether things move forward or whether you accidentally push her further away. In this video, I'm going to show you the 5 biggest mistakes that guys make when a woman pulls away and what you should do instead. And stick around to the end because I'm going to give you a specific text I started using recently with clients in this exact situation. We've used it to get women who'd gone completely silent to text back, and even better, it puts them on a glide path to a better relationship than they had before she ever pulled away. But the text only works if you understand the mistakes first. So let's get into it. Hey, what's up? I am Rob Judge, and today we are talking about one of the most stressful situations a guy can experience when it comes to women. Things are going great, then suddenly she pulls back. Maybe it happens after a stretch where she was texting you all the time, or she was making plans, she was excited to see you, and then one day, the temperature, it just seems to change. Not enough to accuse her of anything, but enough for you to feel it. Now, this is where most guys completely screw it up. Because when a woman pulls away, it triggers emotional pain. And when you're in emotional pain, your instincts become terrible. I know because I've been there myself. There's a temptation to chase. You want reassurance. You think you need to fix things because you're desperate to get back to how things were. And that's a perfect segue into the first mistake. Mistake number 1, trying to get things back to normal. When a woman pulls away, most guys ask the wrong question. They ask, how do I get her back? And I get it. The old vibe, it felt good. She was responsive, available, and you felt wanted. Then she pulled away. And now you want to go back to the last place that things felt safe. It makes sense emotionally, but strategically, it's almost always wrong. Because when a woman pulls away after there was real attraction, the answer is rarely to go backward. It's to move the dynamic forward. Most guys misunderstand what's happening. They think, oh no, I'm losing her. But very often, the interaction is actually trying to transition into a deeper stage. Attraction, that's the first stage. Attraction is, I like him. But attraction alone doesn't last forever. At some point, attraction has to become desire. And desire is, I want him. Desire is different from attraction because desire has a price tag. That's a line I want you to remember. Desire is attraction with a price tag. When a woman is merely attracted to you, she likes the vibe, she likes the attention, she likes the chemistry, but when she desires you, she starts feeling like your attention has value. She wonders where she stands with you. She starts investing more. And when she pulls away, your job is not to recreate the old attraction stage. Your job is to handle the moment in a way that moves things towards desire. Now, most guys do the opposite. They apologize when they didn't do anything wrong. They send flowers. They write long, gushy, emotional texts. They ask, are we okay? They try to prove that they're still the same fun guy that she liked before. And all of that is basically saying, please let me go back to the stage where I felt safe. But you can't go back. And you shouldn't want to. Because if you handle this correctly, her pulling away, it's not the end. It's the entryway into the next level. Mistake number 2, treating a problem like a threat. When a woman pulls away, your body doesn't calmly say, this is a fascinating, complex, interpersonal situation. Let's assess the variables. No, your body, your nervous system, it screams danger. Your stomach drops, your chest tightens, your thoughts speed up, your hand keeps reaching for your phone, and suddenly the dumbest idea in the world starts to sound reasonable. Maybe I should send her a long text explaining everything. Maybe I should tell her how much I care. Whenever a guy gets into this state, he's making decisions with his primal brain. And your primal brain is not interested in strategy. It's not thinking about long-term outcomes. It doesn't care if the text you send tonight makes you cringe the next morning. Your primal brain only cares about one thing, which is making the pain stop right now. It's about neutralizing the threat. That's why guys send the novella. And you know exactly what I'm talking about here. This is the text, the one that starts out reasonable, then suddenly turns into a TED Talk, a breakup letter, a hostage negotiation, and a farewell note, all in one long block of text. You hit send, and for about 7 seconds you feel relief. Then reality crashes, and you ask, what the hell did I just do? Here's what you need to understand. When a woman pulls away, you have a problem, but you do not have a threat. That distinction, it matters. A threat requires immediate action. A problem, that requires clear thinking. And if you're spiraling, if you're checking her location, stalking her Instagram stories, drafting and deleting text, you are not in a state to respond. Anything you do in this state will only damage the situation. So here's the rule. Never make a relationship decision while you're emotionally activated. Never. Do not send the text. Do not ask the question. Do not give the ultimatum. Definitely don't give the ultimatum. And do not confess your feelings, because you're not clearing the air. You're dumping your anxiety into her lap. And that is not masculine, and it's certainly not attractive. So don't do it. Mistake number 3, moving faster than her. When a woman pulls away, a weird thing happens. She slows down. And a lot of the times that makes you speed up. Before, maybe you liked her, but now that she's becoming less available, suddenly you want her more. You think about her more. You check your phone more. You start replaying everything. And this is where the power dynamic shifts. Because in dating, whoever's moving faster usually has less power. Think about the interaction like a dance. At first, you're both in rhythm. You're both texting, you're both flirting, you're both making plans. There's a nice back and forth, a little tension, a little mystery, and then she slows down. Maybe she takes longer to respond, maybe she gets less warm, and this is where the average guy screws himself. He panics and starts dancing harder. Often that means he texts more, he thinks about her more, he invests more. He tries to bring the energy back. But now he's no longer dancing with her, he's tap dancing like an idiot while she's standing there wondering what the hell happened. That's exactly when attraction starts leaking out of the interaction. Because now his attraction no longer feels valuable. It feels guaranteed. It feels like something she can have whenever she wants. And desire requires the opposite. If she feels like your time, your attention, and your emotional energy are instantly available the moment she pulls away, there's no price tag. There's no mystery. There's no value. This is why chasing usually fails. Women, they love attention, but they're attracted to attention that feels valuable, not desperate. So when she slows down, your job is not to speed up. Your job is to remain centered. That doesn't mean you punish her. It doesn't mean that you go cold. It means that you stop letting her pace determine your emotional state. You can't chase her back into attraction. You hold your frame and you give her room to move towards you. Mistake number 4. Going cold just because she went cold. Now, a lot of guys here don't chase and assume that it means, oh, okay, so I should ignore her. Not necessarily. Sometimes silence is the right move. Sometimes the best text is no text. And yeah, sometimes pulling back, that is the play. But guys use silence incorrectly. They don't go silent because they're centered. They go silent because they're butthurt. They're not creating space, they're sulking. They're thinking, she wants to pull away? Fine, I'll pull away too. Let's see how she likes that. And again, that's not masculine. That's not masculine detachment. That's emotional tit for tat. She pulls away, you pull away. She thinks you're mad, you think she doesn't care. Nobody re-engages, and the vibe, it dies a slow, silent death. It's like playing chicken with a woman's anxiety where both of you drive into a ditch. The right move is not always do the opposite thing. The real question most guys never ask is, what emotion am I trying to create? Most guys obsess over the words or the timing, wondering, what should I text? Or should I wait 3 hours or should I wait 3 days? But that's the wrong focus. Before you worry about the words, you need to know the emotional target, because every message elicits a feeling. Bad messages elicit pressure and boredom. Good messages work on positive emotions like curiosity and attraction. So if a woman is pulling away, ask, what emotion is causing her to pull away? In many cases, the answer is fear. Not fear of you, at least I hope not. It's fear of moving too fast, fear of losing independence, fear of getting hurt, fear of wanting you more than she expected to. This is especially true with avoidant women who tend to be independent, guarded, and they're used to being in control. They like you, then they feel themselves liking you, and then they feel vulnerable, so they pull away. Now, if fear is the emotion, what's the worst thing that you can do? Pressure her. And that's exactly what most guys do. They pressure her with reassurance. I really care about you and I'd never hurt you. They pressure her with logic. We had such a great connection and I don't understand why things changed. They pressure her with questions. Are you okay? Did I do something wrong? And look, I get the instinct. You're trying to make her feel safe, but reassurance doesn't erase fear. It confirms there's something to be afraid of. And nothing kills early stage attraction faster than turning a delicate moment into a relationship summit meeting. So instead of trying to reassure her out of fear, you want to spark the emotion that naturally offsets fear, and that's curiosity. Fear makes her pull away from the unknown. Curiosity makes her want to explore it. Fear, it closes the door. Curiosity makes her peep through the keyhole. And the best move when a woman is pulled back is almost never a serious message. It's not a needy message, it's not a cold message, it's a message that creates curiosity while keeping your frame. And that's exactly what the text I'm about to give you does. But first, let's go over mistake number 5. Mistake number 5. Trying to solve her feelings with your words. This is a big one. When a woman pulls away, most guys become obsessed with finding the perfect thing to say. They think there's some magical arrangement of words that will make her go, oh my God, you're right. I was being distant because of my unresolved attachment trauma. Thank you for this beautifully written paragraph, this wall of text. I am now ready to resume being obsessed with you. That's just not how this works. You cannot argue a woman back into attraction. You cannot litigate her into desire. You cannot PowerPoint your way into her pants. And you definitely cannot negotiate your way back into being wanted. Words matter, but behavior matters more. The right text, it can open a door, but your behavior is what determines whether she walks through it. So before you send anything, ask yourself, what does this message communicate about me? Not just literally, emotionally. Does it communicate that you're calm or that you're panicking? Does it communicate that you're a man with options and you have emotional control, or that your entire week has been hijacked because one girl sent you a dry text? Now, this is why long messages usually fail. Even if the words are technically nice, the emotional subtext is weak. The subtext is, I'm anxious. I need reassurance. I need you to resolve this for me. And that's almost never attractive. The best response is usually short, calm, low pressure, and emotionally targeted. Not because you're playing games, but because you understand the moment. You're not trying to dump your feelings on her. You're trying to create a feeling in her. Big difference. All right, so now let me give you the text that I promised. About 6 months ago, I was on a session with a client who was stuck in this exact situation. He was 3 days deep into agonizing over what to text her. And every option he came up with sounded either desperate or it sounded cold. So we started brainstorming on the call. And we landed on something so simple, it almost seemed too good to be true. So without further ado, here's the text. I just realized who you remind me of. That's it. 8 words and an ellipses. He sent it and she responded inside of an hour. Now, I've used some variation of this with probably a dozen clients since, and the hit rate has been kind of insane. I've watched it pull responses from women who've ghosted for weeks, reopen conversations guys thought they were positive were dead, and have turned pulled back situations into actual second chances and real dates. So why does this work? Well, run it back through every mistake we just covered. Mistake 1 was trying to get things back to normal. This text doesn't go backwards. It uses your existing rapport and adds new context, opening the door to something that's future-focused instead of begging to return to the past. Mistake 2 was treating a problem like a threat. This text is short and calm, the kind of message you only send when you're not panicking. There's no spiral in it, just an observation. Mistake 3 was moving faster than her. This text, it doesn't chase, it dangles a carrot, which actually inverts the power dynamic. Now she's the one waiting on you for the answer. Mistake 4 was going cold, just because she went cold. And look, you're engaging her, but in a way that preserves your power and it creates curiosity instead of pressure. Mistake 5 was trying to solve her feelings with your words. And now this text, it's not logical. It's ambiguous on purpose. She has no idea if it's a positive comparison, a funny one, or something cutting. That ambiguity creates conflicting emotions, which is exactly what you want in this type of situation. Now, there's another reason why this text is powerful. It gives you a litmus paper test. If she doesn't respond at all, even to something that would elicit this kind of curiosity and this low pressure, then you kind of have your answer anyway. She's emotionally checked out, and chances are she's just not going to respond ever to anything you send, or she's blocked your number. But that's not the worst thing in the world because you get closure either way. But the vast majority of the time, she's going to respond. And what she's almost certainly going to ask is, okay, who? Now, this is where the second half becomes important because what you've sent is called an open loop. It creates curiosity, but at some point you have to close that loop. You can buy yourself a little time with something like, oh, I'll tell you over a drink, or I have to explain in person. Both of those texts work. Both move things towards an actual interaction, but eventually you are going to have to answer her question. And you have to do it in a way that builds desire instead of killing it. Now, there's no universal good answer to who, right? The right response depends entirely on you, your specific dynamic with her, and the blind spots in your game that have been creating this push-pull pattern in the first place. A guy who's been over-investing has to close the loop very differently than a guy who's been giving off, mixed signals, or the power dynamic's been pretty balanced. The wrong answer here can do everything the first text accomplished. That's why I built this attraction blind spot quiz. It's free, it only takes a few minutes, and it's going to pinpoint the specific patterns that have been causing women to pull away from you to begin with. Once you know what your blind spots are, you have essentially a roadmap in front of you. You'll know exactly how to close the loop in a way that fits your situation. So go to robjudge.net/quiz. And I'm going to put the link in the description as well. Take it before you send the text because the text is the easy part. Closing the loop, that's where most guys mess it up. The big idea tying all this together is simple. Don't try to get her back. Get yourself back, then move the dynamic forward. Because when a woman pulls away, the flaw in your response is usually not that you care, it's that you let caring turn into panic. And panic, that kills attraction. So if this video helped, go ahead, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment telling me which mistake hit the hardest for you. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.